Murder of a Minimalist, a farce in one act. Characters: Larry, a young man, played by
David Hawley.
Jerry, Larry's friend, another young man, played by
Brad Kinsel.
Ginger, Larry's fiance, young woman, played by
Jen Perez.
Reverend, played by
That's Don McClendon. You're on mute, Don. Still on mute, Don.
Don McClendon.
There we go. Joanne, Reverend's wife, played by
Susan Barati.
Marta, undocumented alien housekeeper, played by
Caitlin Shatro.
Ronald, cemetery plot salesman, played by
You're on mute, Robert.
Robert Ashton.
Setting: living room of Larry's house. One door center stage is very wide and opens to the bathroom, such that toilet is readily visible to audience. Time: present. Synopsis: Larry is a loser, pure and simple in death as in life. He finds out he is about to be killed, and all those around him are more concerned about themselves than about him. Okay. At rise, Larry and Marta in living room.
It's nice of you to work on your day off, Marta, and help with the lunch.
Hey, this America. You pay me time and a half, I work extra day. Not like in my country, where we work every day for nothing.
I never did ask you. What country is that?
You don't want to know. Is Ginger gonna be here?
Why, sure. She wanted to go over some of the wedding arrangements with the Reverend.
That Ginger. I don't like her. She not right for you.
Well, we're getting married in 3 months, so you better get used to her. What don't you like about her?
It probably take more than 3 months to tell you.
Come on, Marta. I'm lucky a smart, good-looking girl like Ginger has any interest in me.
Larry, you need a woman who look up to you, who listen to you, like women in my country. Ah, you Americans. Now tell me, who else coming today?
The Reverend is bringing his wife.
Oi, maybe you pay me double time.
And then Jerry will be here.
That's Jerry. He another good for nothing.
He's my best man.
So that the best you can do.
Phone rings. Larry answers. Listens for a few seconds, looks shocked, then hangs up.
What's the matter, Larry? You look gray as sheet. No, wait. Here you say white as sheet. In my country, sheets are never clean. We say gray as sheet.
They're going to kill me. I recognize that voice. It was a friend. Well, not really a friend, but someone at least who doesn't want to see me dead. He says they're going to kill me.
Someone going to kill you.
Yes.
You make joke with Marta.
No, I'm serious.
Why someone want to kill you?
Oh, I saw something one day and I told the authorities. That wasn't so smart.
In my country, no one ever talk to authorities. You see authorities, you stuff rag in mouth, like this.
Martha gets a rag from the table and stuffs it in Larry's mouth.
Now you really believe this, Larry? Is not just joke.
Takes the rag out of his mouth.
I think I do believe it, Marta. I'm going to die.
So you run away.
It wouldn't do me any good to run away. I know these people.
Well, okay, you're going to die. Maybe I believe it, maybe I don't.
Why would I lie about that?
Why not? No, I'm not, how you say, pseudoiatrist?
Do you mean psychiatrist?
Ah, psychiatrist. I'm not psychiatrist. So Maybe you are going to die. I give you benefit of doubt.
Well, in this case, I'd hardly call it a benefit, but believe me, Marta, I'm going to die.
Okay, so now you pay me double time in advance.
I'll have to think that over.
Marta can wait for a little while. In meantime, you give me lamps for bedroom and high definition TV from living room. You not be needing them.
Well,
But this give me another idea.
goes over and puts her arms around Larry.
Larry, how you like marry real woman instead of that stuck-up ginger?
What?
You need real woman. I need green card. You know I'm not supposed to be working here, right? Not even supposed to be in America.
I had no idea. The subject never crossed my mind. So Marta, how were we able to get here?
Very harrowing journey. First, I fly to Canada as tourist. Then I have to get out of friend's car, walk a long way, maybe quarter mile through woods around border station, get back into car on other side. Anyway, I marry you. You get real woman, least for a day or so until you die, and I get green card and someday become citizen, widow of native-born American. That remind me, you got any life insurance?
No, not really. But how can I marry you? What about Ginger?
Ah, Ginger, she not really care, not if you going to die. You think she wants you a day or two? Not worth all the paperwork.
Gives Larry a kiss.
You marry Marta, you not be sorry. Come, we go to bedroom for a little demonstration.
This is silly. There isn't even time for us to arrange a marriage.
The Reverend, he is coming over. He able to marry people. You tell him you're going to die, that you really love Marta, not Ginger. He understand. He know Ginger not really care. The Reverend here enough times I know how he think. You maybe promise big donation to church. Better yet, big donation to him. He cooperate.
What about a marriage license?
My people, we have ways of getting these things. How you think I get driver's license? Someone print marriage license for me on Monday. I get Reverend to sign it with today's date. We put your signature on it too, because you know you not be around.
I'll have to think about it.
Hugs and fondles and kisses Larry.
You not think too long, not have much time. Last chance for real woman.
Doorbell rings and Larry jumps.
Oh, Marta, who could that be? I'm afraid to answer it.
I answer door. Whoever it be, he not for me. Just Jerry.
Opens the door outside.
Hello, Marta. Larry. Say, man, you look white as a sheet.
Ah, I go put out buffet.
Exits to rest of house.
I've had some bad news. Some people are going to kill me.
You're joking.
No, some people are snitched on. I believe the tip I got on the phone.
Why don't you go to the police?
That wouldn't help with these people.
Wow, you're serious about this, aren't you?
Yes, I am. It might happen this afternoon.
Just leave town.
Believe me, these killers can get to me no matter where I go. What can I tell Ginger?
Ginger won't have you to kick around anymore. I bet it won't take her long to find another guy. I know I'm your best man and all, but I gotta tell you, Lair, that Ginger is one hot chick. How did you ever get her?
Well,
She must see something in you. It can't be your looks. Tell me, what is there you say or do that turns her on?
I don't think that's any of your business.
Well, when you're gone, she'll be looking. Do you think she might go for me? I mean, if you tell me your secret.
Jerry!
Well, if you won't give me Ginger, then how about giving me Michael Jordan?
Huh?
You know, that picture you have of Michael Jordan with his autograph? You won't be needing it.
Well, I suppose.
And your season football tickets?
I guess Ginger wouldn't be interested in those or Marta.
Marta?
Never mind.
What about that stuff you keep out in the garage?
What stuff?
You know, you showed me some of it once, the videos and the magazines. Even if you don't get killed, Ginger would never let you keep that.
All right, Jerry, it's yours. I suppose I should just face the fact. I'm a dead man. It's just too bad I'm going to die now. You know, I've always wanted to do something important, something that would help other people. Now, no, I'll never have the chance.
Actually, there could be some advantage to knowing you're going to die.
Such as?
Well, now you could do anything and not worry about the consequences. You could kill anyone you want and laugh at the cops.
Yeah, Larry goes to the table with drawer and reaches inside.
Larry?
Larry takes out a gun and aims it at Jerry.
Hey, hold on. I didn't mean...
Remember that time in junior high when I was carrying the birthday cake and you reached down inside my belt and gave me a wedgie right in front of everybody? I told you I'd get you for that someday.
Larry, please, you can't kill me for that.
You just said I could.
He lowers hand holding the gun.
Just kidding.
Puts the gun back in the drawer.
Wow. you had me there for a minute.
Better be careful of what you suggest.
So, you have a gun. You can defend yourself.
Actually, I don't think I want to kill anybody. Anyway, it would just delay the inevitable.
You know, this is at least a chance for you to tell people what you think. Tell off your boss.
But I like my boss.
Well, there must be something you have a gripe about.
I don't like those new car ads when they say they'll sell you a car below dealer invoice. Everybody knows they still make a profit.
There you go.
And rap music. It's not really music, just a lot of dirty words set to a beat.
Doorbell rings.
Jerry, would you get that? I don't think I'd bet. You understand?
Sure.
Jerry picks up heavy objects such as an umbrella or lamp and holds it ready to hit somebody. Opens door. Reverend and Joanne enter. Jerry puts down the heavy object.
Oh, it's just the Reverend and his wife.
Hello?
Hello, Reverend. Joanne.
Reverend, you're probably just the man we want to see. I think Larry here has to do some praying, but as for me, I'm going into the buffet.
Exits to the rest of the house.
Why do you have to pray?
I received some bad news today.
You're not ill, I hope.
No, not yet, but you see, some people are planning to kill me. It's because I reported a crime.
Oh, dear.
Have you contacted the police?
That won't do any good. Nothing will do me any good. Anyway, I know I haven't been very religious. In fact, I'm not affiliated with any particular denomination. You're the only preacher I know, and that's because of Ginger, but I'm ready now to acknowledge my errors and accept God as my savior. Maybe after lunch you could help me to pray, and I'd appreciate it if you could say a few words at my funeral.
You really expect to die?
Yes.
So you won't be marrying Ginger?
Unless you'll marry me right away, today.
No. Knowing Ginger, I would say fat chance of that.
I'd like to help you, son. But as far for speaking at your funeral, you see, we have a very exclusive congregation, and they might object to my doing that. Ginger comes from a very upstanding, aristocratic, and I might say well-heeled and generous. Yes, generous people. We were willing to take you in because of her, but now that you're not going to be married, well, our outreach program doesn't reach that far. You know what I'm saying. Reach out and touch someone. Want to reach out and touch just anybody.
Perhaps we could at least send some flowers.
No, I've never felt comfortable with the idea of sniffing and staring at the reproductive organs of plants.
As for your funeral, Maybe you could try the reform minimalists. They say that they'll take anyone who sincerely wants God's help. However, that doesn't mean that our church will stand in the way of any divine inspiration you might experience in regard to the final disposition of your assets.
I don't understand.
Your assets, son, your assets. Have you thought about where those will go once you experience this unfortunate accident?
I haven't really had time to consider it, except for some football tickets and some things in the garage.
Well, think about it, son. Your assets should go to God's work, and our church can sorely use them for good work that we carry out. If God wants your estate to go toward our new Dolby sound system or the swimming pool for our new recreation center.
I couldn't help noticing, Larry, this is a very nice home, at least for this neighborhood. Do you rent or own?
I own it, Joanne, free and clear.
Maybe you didn't know. I'm a real estate agent, and since your house will be up for sale, I'll tell you, I think I could get top dollar for it.
I'm not sure I really care now.
But you would like our church to get that swimming pool. Now, the thing to do is to make the arrangements before something unfortunate happens. Because then the assets would go into your estate and they would be tied up for quite a long time. I can help you with it. Just sign over the deed, and once the house sells, I promise you all the money will go to the church. Minus my commission, of course, which is only 10%.
I don't know. I've always wanted to do something would help people. Not quite sure this is it.
Don't worry. The Reverend and I deal with this all the time. You'd be surprised how many people we see who are in spiritual need in their final hours, and we'd like to make things right through a donation of real estate.
Sorry, Joanne. I'll have to think about it. Maybe I could talk to you after lunch.
You expect to be home all day?
Yes.
It would be better if you could be out when the anticipated tragedy occurs. People are reluctant to buy a house in which someone has died, especially if there's been violence. You expect there to be a lot of blood?
Well, I really don't know. I hope not.
It might be a good idea to put down some tarps. Say, have you thought about leaving town? Because, you see, I'm also a travel agent, and I could get you a good deal. Maybe someplace like South America or Australia. Those are nice this time of year. Perhaps we can have you travel under a false name, although that's difficult nowadays.
Sorry, I don't have a lot of cash in the bank.
Do you have a credit card?
Yes, I do. American Express.
Then just charge the trip to your card. That way they'll have no way of collecting later. As they out the American Express card, don't leave this world without it.
Now, not to change the subject, but did you two know that when politicians say they're going to do something, they don't really mean it?
I think that's generally true. Of course, we're not talking about Republicans.
And global warming, it really is happening.
Well, it has been a mild winter.
And Pluto, it really is a planet.
Get a hold of yourself, boy.
Doorbell rings.
Could one of you get that? I'm a little bit nervous.
Joanne opens the door and lets in Ginger.
It's Ginger. My, you look nice today.
Thank you, Joanne. So do you.
Have you told her about, you know?
No, I haven't.
Then I think you two will want to talk.
I'll go look over the rest of the house.
And I'm ready for the buffet. Doing God's work gives one an appetite.
Reverend and Joanne exit to the rest of the house.
Well, Larry, what is it you have to tell me?
I don't quite know how to say this, but some people are planning to kill me.
Oh my God.
It might happen today, and believe me, there isn't anything I can do about it.
Who would want to kill you and why?
People who don't like it, I give some information to the police.
Are they people I know? Am I in danger too?
No, don't worry, the rest of you are safe.
I guess this means our wedding is off.
I was hoping you might still want to marry me today as a parting gesture.
No, I have to think of my prospects. Men are less willing to marry a widow.
But you're not exactly a virgin. I mean, in fact, if you won't marry me, perhaps we could go upstairs together later for, a sort of farewell send-off.
No, I don't think that would be a good idea. I have to try to forget you as soon as possible. It's healthier that way. Oh, Larry, I should have listened to my mother. She said nothing good would come of you. Now, seeing as how I'm going to be stood up for Valentine's Day, maybe you can match me up with one of your friends?
How about Jerry?
You've got to be kidding. He's an even bigger loser than... Never mind.
Then there's Steve.
He's the one I dumped when I met you. How about Jack?
He already has a girlfriend.
Just leave that part up to me.
Say, Ginger, all this time I've known you, I never really had a chance to talk with you about the colour purple. Don't you think it's actually a silly looking colour? It's not a real colour, just a mixture of red and blue.
Well, I don't generally wear anything purple. It doesn't go with my complexion.
If people would just acknowledge that the purple is a stupid colour, we wouldn't have to look at it all the time. For instance, grape soda, that's not natural purple, They just put it in artificial colouring. And purple lipstick, who dreamt up that idea? Makes a woman look like she's not breathing right. And all of those references to purple people, somebody who's really a bigot will say, I don't care what colour you are, white, black or purple. But he's just throwing in the purple to sound unbiased. Actually, he would be upset if someone were purple. And so he must be lying about the black or white as well.
You're beginning to lose me.
Never mind. Oh, I wish I could prevent what's going to happen.
I'm not sure I would still want to marry you, not if you're going to be bringing up unpleasantries all the time. I think that in the future, if someone plans to murder you, the polite thing would be to keep it to yourself. Now, I think I'll go into the buffet. Who else is here?
The Reverend and Joanne and Jerry and, of course, Marta.
Actually, there is one good thing that will come out of you being killed.
Oh, that's nice to know.
I won't have to hear about Martha anymore.
Ginger starts to exit to the rest of the house. Just then the doorbell rings. Larry speaks just as Ginger leaves the stage.
Oh, Ginger, would you answer that? Oh, never mind. I don't really care anymore.
Larry goes to the door to outside, opens it. Ronald enters.
Well, buddy, I know you must be in a hurry. Come over here.
Larry escorts Ronald to the table and drawers, shows Ronald gun, knife, and then piece of rope from the table.
Which will it be?
What do you mean?
Aren't you here to kill me?
No, certainly not. But I understand your situation. By the way, the name is Ronald.
He offers his hand.
I'm Larry.
Larry shakes Ronald's hand.
Yes, I know. Joanne gave me your name.
Joanne?
Yes, she called me from here a few minutes ago, and I rushed right over. You see, I represent the Eternal Peace Mortuary and Cemetery, and we'd like to give you an opportunity to choose your final arrangements before the opportunity is lost. You know, you're a lucky man.
How so?
Most people procrastinate. They avoid contemplating the inevitable, and then poof, one day they transition to the need phase.
The need phase.
Yes, our service is divided between the pre-need and need phases. Pre-need, you were able to purchase goods and services from Eternal Peace at a considerable discount, as is customary in our industry. On the other hand, in the need phase, you are no longer around to make decisions, as it were, and up to whatever relatives or friends might be available to make the arrangements. Now, in your case, I understand there will be a dearth of such relatives and friends.
Yes, unfortunately, that is true.
And those who present themselves will be particularly disinterested.
Also true.
So it behooves you to make a decision in the pre-need phase, because in the need phase, unfortunately, the policy in our industry is to charge full price. No discount is allowed. In fact, this policy has been incorporated into law by our friends in the state legislature. And of course, when decisions are made by disinterested persons faced with remains which are rotting, which are in the need phase, then those are not always the best or the most economical decisions.
I see what you mean. Do you accept American Express?
Yes, of course. Now, are you ready for me to discuss some pre-need options?
I don't think I have time for that. Just come up with what you think is best and show it to me after lunch. The buffet is in the dining room.
Well, thank you. But there are two questions I have to ask. First, open casket or closed?
I suppose that would depend upon circumstances.
Yes, of course. And secondly, do you have a choice of clergyman?
You'll have to find someone.
In that case, we have someone we call upon. He's reformed minimalist. Oh, could you direct me to Joanne? I'd like to pay her, that is, pay my respects to her for the business referral.
Just go through there. Oh, before you go, did you know that people usually misuse the word comprise? It annoys the heck out of me. For instance, they say the National Football League is comprised of the national and American conferences. Perhaps they should use the word composed instead. Comprise means to contain as parts. They should really say the National Football League comprises the American and national conferences. I just thought I'd point that out to somebody while I can. Maybe you could spread the word.
Why, yes, whenever the subject comes up. Oh, it's the least I could do.
Good, because you see, I've always hoped my life, or maybe my death, would count for something, would help people in some way. Maybe that will be it.
Perhaps.
Exits to the rest of the house. Marta re-enters through outside door carrying mail.
Marta!
I go out from kitchen to get today's mail. Have to get away from Ginger. She a real bite. How you say?
A real bear.
I don't think that the word. Anyway, I give you another chance to marry Marta. What do you say?
Martha starts hugging and kissing Larry again.
Hey, you and I talk with Reverend after lunch. Then after ceremony, they all leave and we go upstairs for honeymoon.
I've been thinking about it, and why not? At least this way I can do somebody some good. And I want to leave my assets to the Reverend's church, and as for my body, well, I'm going to leave it to medical science. Here, I'll write it all out so it'll be nice and legal.
He gets a paper, a pen, and writes.
I'll have to remember some things I'm leaving to Jerry. I'm also writing that the Reverend has to marry us today and has to find some sort of medical school to take my body, or his church gets nothing. By the way, Marta, have you ever thought about the federal income tax?
Me no pay income tax.
Well, yes, and I admire you for that. Because frankly, the tax system gets more and more complicated every year. We spend so much of our time on it and pay so much money to accountants, it's ruining our economy. Someday you undocumented persons will take over because the rest of us will be too busy paying our taxes or doing our taxes. So keep up the good work. Now let me see that mail.
Opens the letters one at a time.
The electric bill, $148, fuel surcharges and excise taxes. Fat chance they'll ever get paid. In fact, I think I'll keep on all the lights.
He turns on a lamp or two.
The phone bill, $95. Federal subscriber line charge. Federal Universal Service Fee. Good luck, ATT. Maybe I'll dial up one of those expensive sex lines and leave it connected forever. Oh, I'm going to take the rest of these into the bathroom with me.
Goes into the bathroom and closes the door. Ginger, Reverend, Joanne, Ronald, and Jerry enter from the other room carrying plates of food.
Where's Larry? Nothing has happened, has it?
No, he go in bathroom with mail.
Now you see, Ginger, it's probably just as well you aren't marrying Larry. I personally find it rather disgusting that someone would take reading material into the bathroom.
Yes, I agree completely.
Although I do sometimes catch the Reverend taking his paper in there with him.
In my country, we have no toilet paper. Everybody take newspaper into bathroom. Now, about marriage, I, the one marrying Larry.
What?
Picks up
See-
note Larry has written.
See, it's all right here. We secret lovers starting this afternoon. Reverend marry us, has to be today, then he get assets, Marta get green card.
Let me see that.
Reverend takes paper from Marta.
Yes, Larry signed this note saying, among other things, that he and Marta must be married today. What about a marriage license?
Marta get one Monday. You no worry about how.
We'll get the house, but what about bank accounts or life insurance?
Larry not have much money in bank. I do cleaning nights, snoop around. I know. He tell me he'd no have life insurance.
Sound of explosion in bathroom is heard.
What was that?
Sounded like an explosion.
Jerry runs into bathroom without opening door very widely, closes door behind him, comes out about 15 seconds later, leaving the door wide open. Larry is seen sitting back on toilet, pants down around ankles. Shirt is long enough to provide privacy. A towel covers his face and chest. Scattered bits paper on the floor.
Ugh, poor Larry. Must have been a letter bomb. I covered up his face and chest. You don't want to see those.
I told him to put down tarps.
Ginger and Marta start to cry.
Oh, Larry, you were my one true love.
Others look at Ginger. Ronald goes to Larry, peeks under towel.
Is he really?
Yes, he is. The need phase. I would say a closed casket phase of need.
Walks back.
No, must be wrong.
But I am an authority.
You authority.
Gets rags, stuffs it in her mouth.
I think
Reverend goes to Larry and peeks under towel.
I think Larry is still in the pre-need phase. And Ronald, if you need more business referrals from me, as I do my blessed duty of consoling the dying, you will agree.
Maybe.
Now, Marta, come over here.
Marta approaches Reverend and Larry. Reverend lifts one of Larry's hands from under the towel and gives it to Martha to hold.
We are gathered here today to unite Larry and Marta in holy matrimony. Do you, Marta, take Larry to be your lawfully wedded husband?
Still has the rag in her mouth
And
and nods her head.
Mm-hmm.
And do you, Larry, take Marta to be your lawfully wedded wife?
He peeks under the towel again, mumbles the following, pretending Larry said it.
I do. Okay, you all heard Larry say, I do. I now pronounce you husband and wife. It is not necessary to kiss the bride.
Marta drops Larry's hand and Reverend peeks under the towel again.
No, I think Larry is in the need phase. Right? Dear Lord, it is obvious that Larry led a flawed life.
Stares at Marta.
He disappointed his loyal friends who stand with me here today. He admitted to being a tattletale. However, in his final hours, he sought to turn to you, and he gave the generous house to our church. Let us pray that you might find a place for him in your heavenly abode among the reformed minimalists Amen.
Amen. Now, some of you know I am also the county coroner, so I'll be able to expedite the investigation into Larry's death, which in a small county such as this was bound to be superficial at best. In the meantime, there will be the embalming and the choice of a suitably expensive casket and cemetery plot, which I suppose will have to be charged to his estate.
Now, just a minute, Ronald, before you get too carried away.
Takes out Larry's note again.
Larry also says in this makeshift will that he wants his body to go to a medical science, to some form of medical school. He to help others as much as possible. He says he doesn't trust us.
Now, why would he say such a thing?
I certainly wouldn't know. After all, him. At any rate, he says if we don't find a school to take his body, his assets go to his wife Marta's favorite charity. And what a charity would that be, Marta?
Shakes head quizzically.
Mm-hmm.
I believe she said the Reformed Minimalists. It figures. So, Ronald, we won't need your services except for the embalming, but perhaps you can help us locate an institution that will accept Larry.
As for me, I feel I have to be alone now. I think I'll go out to the garage.
And he exits.
Finding a place for Larry might be difficult. Nowadays, the medical schools have computerized models of the human body. They don't really need the remains of healthy people. Now, I imagine Larry was healthy, wasn't he?
Yes, sometimes too healthy.
Well, then they won't want him.
How about a dental school?
Peeks under the towel.
No, I don't think a dental school would be the place.
A chiropractic school?
They're very picky nowadays also. They don't want to be thought of as places where students go if they can't get into medical school. So they usually won't accept a cadaver unless you can certify that it's already been accepted by at least 3 MD institutions. But looking at Larry reminds me there is one kind of place I might try.
He picks up the telephone and dials.
Yes, please get me the dean. Hello, Jim. This is Ronald. How's the family? Good. Look, I think I might have a body for you. Oh, a male, late 20s? Shrapnel wounds, but upper body only. No family to worry about. Gave consent in his will. Well, that's great, thank you. I expect him in a day or two.
Gives thumbs up to the others in the room.
The usual amount. Just send it to the usual address. Thank you again. Goodbye.
Hangs up.
Well, it appears I found a school which will accept Larry's body. A school where he could do a great service to education, perhaps 8 to 10 times a day, day after day.
That's just what Larry wanted. What sort of school is it?
It's a school of colonic irrigation.
Curtain.
Thank you, actors, again. Thank you, Lewis. For bringing in the play.
I'm sorry, but I have to go. Thank you.
Larry, he's such a kidder.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you,
Good to
Susan.
see you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Let's follow up on the play that we just heard first, though. Murder of a Minimalist. What are your thoughts, your initial response to this play?
I thought it was funny. I liked it.
It's a farce. I obviously I was drafted in. I drafted myself in at the last minute as an actor. I wasn't quite sure how to play it. That's going to be a very difficult part to play, and it gets on stage. It's going to need a better actor than me to carry that part off.
I think you did a really great job.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, that's a tough part. That is.
I loved the line about something about looking at the reproductive parts of flowers. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought it moved right along. I got myself interested through the whole thing, and I mean, theater's supposed to take us places we don't normally go. I think we went there. I wasn't sure about the ending. Kind of okay, yeah, something. I don't know if I expected more or what, but
Yeah,
I liked it.
yeah. After the explosion, I think really needed to start winding it up.
I thought it was humorous. I would wondered if it wouldn't add more humor to have these characters stay in the room and then start showing conflict between each other, almost to the point where the main character was phased out of the conversation. You know, does that make sense? So that you know their needs take even more precedence. Yes, I don't know. Any other thoughts?
I would agree with you, Rob, because playing Marta and saying that I hated Ginger and stuff, I didn't really know what I hated her for, because when she came in, she was pretty nice. So, and then she had a couple lines about hating me too. So I think having them all in the same room and knowing more of how their dynamic works would have been interesting to see.
I think it could add humor. Other thoughts?
I don't know. I was thinking of Clue and Knives Out. Something was going on with that whole thing. It was busy. I'm going to die today. Somebody's going to kill me.
I don't think it's farcical enough. If it's supposed to be a farce, it's not very farcical. It's too convincing. The people are so heartless and mean. It's, I don't know. I think a farce ought to be a little more ridiculous.
All right. Well, Lewis, what would you like to say about the player response to the comments that you heard?
Well, I appreciate all the comments. This was the first play I ever had produced. It was put on at the Acadia University Mini Fest in Canada, in Nova Scotia, and actually was tied for first place in that festival. But I do appreciate the comments, and I think at the end you do have the remaining characters somewhat bickering with each other, you know, about who's getting the house and who's getting the body and so on. And I mean, maybe that could be expanded a little bit, as you say. And but the ending was just supposed to be silly, you know, with his body being donated to a school of colonic irrigation where he'll be irrigated 8 times a day forever and so on. But I don't know. Maybe that could be changed. Did you think Larry's obsession with various matters like the color purple and car salesman and comprise versus compose and so on was
Actually, that's one of the things which I really liked, the sort of going off at a tangent, because I can imagine in such a real situation, your mind, well, I occasionally have been in a situation where I felt my life was at risk, but we won't go into that. But your mind does go off in different directions. You don't necessarily concentrate on the exact matter in hand.
he was trying to advise the world about his thoughts, you know, before he dies. But anyway.
Yeah, I enjoyed that aspect. It was, you know, developed his character further.